Over the weekend, UFC fans got a surprise. Robert Whittaker, the Reaper himself, is coming back to the octagon this summer. He'll face off against former two-division champ Ranier Derrida in the main event of UFC Abu Dhabi. This comeback is huge because Rob's last fight ended badly. A brutal mouth injury against Khamzat Chimaev sidelined him. What shocked fans even more is that this matchup wasn't even on anyone's radar. Whittaker had been linked to several other fighters, but somehow this fight with Derrida came together perfectly. On his MMA Arcade podcast, Rob explained that it was all about timing. The opportunity showed up and he grabbed it. And there's more. Watching his fellow Aussies Alexander Volkanovski and Jack Della Maddalena win their belts recently lit a fire under him. Rob's not just coming back for a paycheck, he wants that middleweight title back. He's on a mission.
Fight was announced. It is you against Ranier Derrida at UFC Abu Dhabi Fight Night Main Event, July 27.
The beginning of the year, I took some time off after cricket. Got back into training, started working with the team. Told my manager, I'd speak to him, tell him I'm looking for late June, early July. Let's get something. And I was also kind of mentioning Strickland at the time. They came back to me and said, Strickland has only just getting back into training. We can try and get that fight to happen, but we don't know when it'll happen. We don't know. But Dolidze, this is just after Dolidze had that good win. And they said, but Dolidze's ready and willing. And I was like, done. I thought I was getting ready for late June, which was in Baku, but then they started sliding that cut up. And then they said, actually, Rob, hold tight, things are moving. Weeks go by, I'm still training, prepping for it, but it's hard because I haven't signed anything, nothing's happened. And then literally 4 days ago, RDR, main event, Abu Dhabi. I was like, what happened to the other one?
So what happened to Roman?
I don't know what happened to anything. He's not in the top 10 yet, but he just beat Bo Nickel. It's a good, hard fight. Let's do it. July's a good time. Done. I don't want to fight forever. I've got a couple of years left in my career. I want that fairy tale ending. Especially after seeing Volk and now JDM get up. I want that fairy tale ending. Work my way up to the title, win the belt, and sail off into the sunset. That's the dream I'm pushing and fighting for.
Meanwhile, big news from Islam Makhachev's camp. His manager, Ali Abdelaziz, dropped a bombshell. He said a fight between Islam and Ilia Topuria was already a done deal. Everything was negotiated and ready. The only condition, Belal Muhammad had to win his fight against Jack Della Maddalena at UFC 315. If Belal had kept his title, Islam versus Ilia would have been locked in.
If Belal would have won, Islam and Ilia was a done deal. It was negotiated, everything was good to go. It was not even a conference.
But here's the twist. Abdelaziz made it clear that this massive fight wouldn't happen in Perth or Abu Dhabi. He insisted that a fight of this magnitude deserves a grand stage. Las Vegas or New York, nothing less. He knows how to hype up a super fight, that's for sure.
Hoping over here, obviously, that the fight happens in Perth. But obviously, I spoke to Javier Mendez. He's like, well, I don't know. That's a big fight.
I already know. Listen, it's not gonna. It might not be in Abu Dhabi. It's a big enough fight. It's gonna be in New York, Madison Square Garden, or it's gonna be in Las Vegas. If they said gonna be in Abu Dhabi, but it's not gonna be in Perth or Australia, none of this place.
On top of that, Jack Della Maddalena's head coach, Ben Vickers, isn't shy about his predictions. In an interview with Submission Radio, Vickers said Belal was the perfect warm-up fight for JDM before taking on Islam. He didn't stop there. He boldly claimed Islam isn't used to taking heavy shots. And when JDM lands on him, Vickers is convinced Islam will get knocked out cold. That's a spicy take.
A bit of footage on Makhachev in particular the Poirier fight. And, I've never watched Makhachev before as a potential opponent. I've always just enjoyed him fighting because he's brilliant to watch. I think Jack will knock him out. Poirier only hit him once in the first round. And the first jab he took, when he got the takedown afterwards, he was wincing and rubbing his iron. I just feel like he's not used to taking damage. He's not used to being in tough fights with someone pushing the pace. Belal's the perfect warm-up fight if you're going to fight Makhachev. So, but anyone, I see holes in them all, and I think Jack's the complete package. Add to all of his skills, the chin, and then the pure will and grit to get the job done. I feel very confident going into that fight.
Switching gears to some boxing news. Holly Holm is making a comeback. The former UFC champion has signed with Jake Paul's most valuable promotion. She's set to fight on June 28th on the same card where Jake Paul faces Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. This event will take place at the Honda Center in Anaheim, California. Hol's journey back to boxing is a full circle moment. After her UFC run ended, she still had fights left on her contract, but Holm wanted to return to the boxing ring. She asked the UFC for a release and they granted it. Now at 43 years old, she's stepping back into the ring for the first time since 2013. Her opponent, Yolanda Vega, a 10-1 fighter in a 10-round lightweight bout with 2-minute rounds. This is going to be epic. Let's talk about Sean Strickland. He's never one to shy away from controversy. Recently, Strickland posted a video on Instagram where he's seen doing some real wrestling. But here's the kicker. It was in honor of Olympic gold medalist Kyle Snyder, who got into serious legal trouble. For context, Snyder was arrested in Columbus, Ohio. Police allege he responded to an online ad for escort services, paid $160, 0 cents in cash to an undercover officer for a sex act, and was arrested immediately. Strickland's video came with a sarcastic caption. Did some real wrestling in honor of Kyle Snyder. Man's an American hero. Country's turning real communist lately. Classic Strickland. Always stirring the pot.
What's the one thing in life you can do for free, but you can't pay for? We're about to do some real wrestling in honor of my boy Snyder. You ready to wrestle? Hell yeah! Get on my back, strong man, hold me down. On you go. Give Mr. Go. Go. God, you ain't, I thought you were wrestling. Oh God, that's too hard. Hey, Kyle, for you, man. Free Kyle Snyder. Get it.
Aman Sarukian is also making waves. He recently shared a video of himself going toe-to-toe with wrestling world champion Arsene. The drill was intense, showcasing top-tier grappling skills. Fans loved it, hyping up Sarukian as a serious contender in the lightweight division.
Go! He lost him.
Oh my God!
Got him! Yeah! Oh, got it!
Moving on to middleweight drama. Nasruddin Imavov is creeping closer to title contention after his shocking win over Israel Adesanya back in February. Imavov is now set to be the backup fighter when Dricus Du Plessis defends his middleweight belt against Khamzat Chimaev at UFC 319. Funny enough, Imavov was recently linked to a potential fight with Paulo Costa. Costa even accused Imavov's team of ducking the fight. But now with Imavov named as the backup for DDP versus Khamzat, Dricus couldn't resist throwing shade. He posted, "Guess I'm fighting Nasruddin Imavov." A subtle jab, but everyone knew it was aimed at Khamzat's history of pulling out of fights. Since September 2022, Khamzat's only fought twice, but has had 3 cancelled fights. That's not a good look for a title contender. And speaking of comebacks, Conor McGregor is back at it with his classic teases. The UFC world had gone quiet about his return, but that changed after Dana White dropped a ton of fight announcements. Conor couldn't resist. He reacted to Islam vacating his title with an exciting message to Dana. The next day, McGregor went even further. He sent 2 direct messages to the UFC and Dana White, basically telling them to get this show started. One of his messages even said, "At Dana White at TKOGRP, call that Big Nurse." Classic McGregor, always keeping fans guessing, but here's the big question. Do you think McGregor will actually come back this time, or is this just more of his usual hype? Fans are divided, and the internet is buzzing with opinions. What's yours?
How do you think you would beat Ili Abturo, Top Toro?
I grab him by the scruff of the chest and slap their little nose off him, yeah? Little ding-dong of a thing he is, yeah? I'm fucking Spanish. I'm in Marbella, bro, yeah? I'm in Marbella at the bare knuckle stall and let's see what's what. We're bouncing the yoke, have a bare knuckle. You little fool, I'll cave your head in. You little short-ass tick, I'll box your jaw in. On site. I'm in Marbella, Spain, yeah? I'm in Marbella, Spain, October 12th at the bare knuckle. Stall it, bro, yeah? See what happens here. See what happens here when you cross me, bro, or you come across me.
That wraps up the major MMA stories for now. If you enjoyed this update, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. There's always more drama, more fights and more chaos coming in the UFC world. Stay tuned.